Any chapter review, book review, paragraph review, or misspelled comment must be replied to. Any development of the plot can be discussed, and subsequent setting modifications can also be discussed. Completely free. Pick up a dragon, join the camp, and start your hunting career. Continuously hunting higher level monsters, challenging stronger hunters, ending the conspiracy to harm the Dragon Clan, and ascending to the throne of President. Chapter 001. Picking up a dragon. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. North, Count Stark Castle, Dragon Egg Fossil Collection Room. A group of people wearing white radiation protection suits are carrying the wooden crates as instructed, which are covered with hay to protect the dragon egg fossils. Hey, be careful, you guys. This is the boss's precious collection. If it's damaged a little, we won't be able to afford to sell you. Cut, isn't it just a few broken eggs? They've all become fossils, what's precious? Are there still fewer monsters in the world now? I think I'm about to become a rare animal. You don't understand, can't you use money to appreciate it? Besides, it's not an ordinary breed, it's a dragon. It is also said that regardless of the era or any monster system, dragons seem to belong to a higher level species. They carried wooden boxes through a footbridge fixed by 4 iron cables between the collection room and the main castle. A person accidentally bumped into the chain, stumbled, and a fossil fell off the overpass. Below was the village surrounding the castle. Hey, it fell down. Just one, there are hundreds here anyway. Fool, the quantity is recorded. If it's one less, you can't even afford to lose your life. As soon as he finished speaking, a sword pierced into the chest of the person who accidentally dropped the dragon egg without long eyes. Ike was cooking pork and stewing noodles when he had just finished adding noodles when something hit him like an apple hitting Newton. Damn it, my head. What is this thing? Ike bulged a big lump on his head, picked up the fossil dragon egg that had bounced to one side, and stuffed it into the gap of the stone stove, just enough to fill the gap. As is well known, stewing pork with vermicelli takes time, so Ike keeps adding firewood to it. But the fire is getting smaller and smaller. Why is the fire getting smaller and smaller? I've seen a ghost. Ike finished burning all the reserved firewood and finally ate the food, patting his stomach. Alright, eat and drink until you're full and take a nap. In his sleep, Ike felt something licking his face. Don't move, don't move. Ike was pushing and shoving, wanting to refuse, when suddenly he opened his eyes and a dragon cub stood in front of him. Schillingaling has big eyes, erect pupils, small nostrils, a row of small protrusions along the forehead, and drooping ears. His whole body is mostly black. Gently turn around, with the tail following behind and many bone spurs on top. Ah! Monster! Ike was so scared that he retreated repeatedly. After confirming that there was no threat, he leaned closer and saw that his nose was almost aligned with the little dragon's nostrils. His eyes were also wide open. Ike brought a plate of meat with an iron pot lid and placed it in front of Little Dragon. Great, here's the money. Let's eat this meat. It was all I saved up to buy, I haven't eaten meat in a long time. But selling you monster will make me rich. Long Zai picked up a piece and put it in his mouth, swallowing it almost without chewing. He extended his tongue and licked his mouth, burying his head in it to eat. You're really obedient, little one. My name is Ike, and when Snow City sells you, don't blame me. Ike sat down next to each other, calculating. Snow covers the ground, sometimes revealing gray-black soil and rocks. The trunk is also gray, with sparse forests. Ike walked ahead, followed by Xiaolong, jumping happily. Sometimes his 4 legs were out of coordination and out of control, and he could even fall on the snow. Don't stick to my foot, it almost tripped me. Ike lowered his head and picked up the dragon cub. Look at his 2 little wings. Can these 2 little wings fly? What kind of monster are you? Are you expensive? Suddenly, Ike stopped and several figures appeared maliciously on the distant snow. Ike knew who it was, the group that always bullied him, and the young boys were always noisy. He hid the dragon cub in a nearby ditch and buried half of it with snow. "What are you doing?" "Ike, I said I saw you and hit you again, but I still want to see you again. Take action." Ike is an orphan in the village, and these people always bully him. Last time, he borrowed some money to buy flowers for Shirley, but was beaten up by these people. Shirley is Ike's crush. I see if you dare to tease Sherry at home, and if you dare not owe him money. Ike was pinned to the ground, punching him in the face with each punch and making a scratch on his hand. After finishing the fight, those people left. "It's so cold, are you licking my wound?" Ike curled up in the dirt ditch, next to the little dragon. Fortunately, those people didn't notice the dragon cub, otherwise they would have snatched it over. Longshi licked Ike's wound and snuggled up beside him. But Ike was still very cold. It was already deep winter and the temperature was very low. After being beaten for too long, he didn't move and his body became stiff. Longshi opened his mouth, 2 smoke rings sprayed out, followed by a flame. Longshi closed his mouth and his abdomen gradually warmed up. "So you can breathe fire." Ike hugged him. "Ah, it's so warm." Fengshui City, Monster Exchange. A small room was filled with cages filled with monsters, very noisy. A person stands in the hallway, adding food to the bowl in front of the cage, while a dog is wiping the floor with a cloth in its mouth, seemingly trained professionally. This is just a temporary place where these monsters will be sent to larger trading points for trading as pets, servants, food, or for other special purposes. "Boss, how much does it cost?" Ike placed the dragon cub on the counter. The boss looked at Longshi. But he recognized it as a dragon, as he had said before, in any system, dragons are considered high-end goods, and even as food, they are expensive. The boss, as a businessman for many years, realized that Ike was ignorant of goods. It's so small, there isn't much meat, but it looks pretty good. Can we sell it for 1,000 silver coins? Yes. Don't look at him as small, he's very obedient. Ike smiled and extended a thumb. But Longshi is very disrespectful and has not taken any action. "Spit fire, why don't you spit fire?" Ike became anxious and picked up the dragon cub, swinging it up and down. The dragon cub was knocked unconscious and collapsed to the ground. "It looks very weak, the price may drop by 1 level, said the boss, as a representative of unscrupulous merchants, intending to lower the price. "What? Are you mistaken? This is a dragon, no matter how bad it is, it's also a dragon. Even if it's slaughtered and sold, it's worth 3,000 silver coins. Then you should slaughter him and sell him. Don't you know that trading dragon meat is illegal now? I have already collected enough dragons, and I still find it difficult to raise them. Let's sell it at a fixed price. Think carefully." In fact, when Ike entered the exchange, he knew that this monster was a dragon. Ike was an orphan, and observation was his foundation for survival. However, he still lacked practicality and had no understanding of the trading situation. But he doesn't want to make a big profit either. After all, trees attract wind, and he doesn't want to be asked about the origin of dragons. He just wants to sell some money and survive. "Damn it, you're trying to kill me openly." Ike pointed to Longshi and cursed. "Spit fire, you're actually spewing fire. Do you want me to kick you with my feet?" Ike kicked over and hit the dragon, who just looked at him inexplicably and curled up. "Damn it, Spitfire, I'm begging you." Ike made a prayer gesture by clasping his hands together. "Useless guy, okay, 1,000 silver coins is enough. Could you please give me a brand new one? A sensible guy." Ike finally let go, there was nothing he could do, he had no other choice. The boss handed over a bag of gold coins, which Ike took and counted as he walked back. The boss brought a cage and wanted to stuff the dragon cub inside, but the dragon cub kept spreading its wings and pulling at the cage, unwilling to enter. Go in, this cage, I'll tell you to go in, damn it. The boss pressed Long Zai's head hard. Damn it, I only sold 1,000 silver coins, but I can barely make it through this month, Ike thought to himself. The boss certainly knows how to deal with disobedient dragons. Hey, don't bite. Damn, let me teach you a lesson to see if I can knock you to death. He took a stick and knocked it on Long Zai. Long Zai still looked at Ike's leaving figure, unwilling to go in. Ah! Ah! The dragon cub let out a mournful cry. What's that damn thing called? I can't even afford to raise him. Ah! Shout! I like to scream. The boss gave another blow, and this time he finally hit his wing, and the dragon cub was locked in a cage. Hey, go buy some wine. Ike smiled and took a small step to run, but suddenly he stopped. By a fart. He suddenly turned around and ran towards the exchange, where the boss was taking the cage inside. Stop it. I won't sell it anymore. Ike supported the counter and shouted. Hee, take your dragon and get out of here. Don't even think about doing business with me in the future. No, I won't do it again in the future. Ike hugged the dragon tightly and said. Little one, you'll just hang out with me in the future. What's a good name to call you? Just Dragon. Beyond endless black wounds, extinguished the scorching karmic anger, suppressed the raging wind and howl of steel, traversed the depths of death's miasma, the final destination twinkling like stars, the dark lamp frowns and stands, both the end and the beginning. What kind of journey will Ike go through to become the strongest hunter? Chapter 002. Monster Hunter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The river flows through the forest, and you only need to cut off a section to catch a lot of fish. Dragon, I drove it over, look at you. Ike hugged his pants to his knees and stood barefoot in the shallow river covered in pebbles. The black fish scurried around along the water flow and suddenly plunged into a crevice in the stone. Damn it, did you get into the crevice of the stone? I'll push the stone away and you'll seize the opportunity to bite it. I know you understand what I'm saying, right? Ike said to Dragon, who was staring on the side. Ike moved the stone. Damn it, the water is too turbid to see clearly. Zhuojian threw himself into the water, plunged his head into the water, stirred up a splash, and then pulled himself out of the water, holding the black fish in his mouth. Dragon, great, you caught it. Ike applauded excitedly and hugged Dragon. Ike built a campfire with branches. Come on, Dragon, let's spew fire recklessly. Zhuojian slightly opened his mouth to gather strength, his abdomen bulging, his chin skin also bulging, and a flame spewing out, grilling the fish. It's really delicious. Take a big bite of Zhuojian, Dragon, you are my dragon, and I will never leave you. Ike leaned against Dragon's side, ate grilled fish, and took a big bite. Although he doesn't have money, fortunately there are many hunting resources near Stark Town, and Dragon is a dragon that was originally hunting. The Duke of Stark has moved out of Stark Castle, but the surname here is still Stark. People still live as usual, working at sunrise and resting at sunset, perhaps the only change is that Ike has a dragon. Look, it's Orphan Ike and his dragon. Oh my, I don't know where he got the money to buy a dragon. He probably stole it. Did you read the notice? Now the entire kingdom prohibits raising dragons without permission and requires a certificate of dragon training. Dragon training certificate. Ike became alert. What was that? He walked into the city wall and posted a notice with the emblem of the capital, which read: Due to safety considerations, unlicensed individuals are prohibited from raising dragons within the kingdom. Please immediately go to the Dragon Training Academy to retake the Dragon Training Certificate, otherwise your dragon will be confiscated. The deadline is 3 months. Dragon quietly followed behind, it couldn't understand the text. What? What should I do? It's so far from the north to the capital, and I don't know how to tame dragons, Zhugan. Ike frowned. Zhugan felt Ike's emotions, spread his wings, and rested his 4 feet on the ground. Zhugan, don't worry for now. I must become a master of dragon training, so rest assured. Perhaps it was this moment, Ike knew that one day he would leave Stark Town for the outside world. Now this moment has arrived. For Zhugen. Ike stood at the intersection, with a road sign on the left that read the name of the kingdom, the name of the north, and the name of the town. Driver, these 2 grilled fish are for you. Can you give us a ride? Hey, just these 2. Ike left the town of Stark where he grew up with Zhugen. In Middle-earth, Ike took a carriage and a boat and finally arrived from the north. The capital was located in the middle of Middle-earth, where he obtained the dragon taming certificate. On the cliff, they had just landed and sat one by one with a dragon leaning against each other. Zhugen's body size had grown a bit, and he was about the same size as Ike's. Although his growth rate was still slow compared to other dragons, Ike was already very satisfied. Zhugen, you really grow very fast. Wait, Zhugen, what is that? Is that 2 ships exchanging fire? No, I think it's the passenger ship that was attacked. On the sea, it was the passenger ship that had just brought Ike, emitting thick smoke, banging and exploding. Many people jumped off another ship, holding knives and hijacking the passenger ship. Is it a pirate? They rowed along the side of the ship, shouting for help. Zhugen seemed to have discovered prey and suddenly stood up, shouting, "Ah! No, Zhugen, we can't go through it. Sad things happen every day in this world, and sometimes it's not our turn to take care of them." Ike stood up and grabbed Zhugen's tail, trying to drag him back. Zhugen's tail has become stronger and more solid from the previous Q-bullet, and the bone spurs on top have become more prominent. Although Zhugen has always been obedient, he is now holding back Ike, which is a manifestation of perseverance. Wait, why do you have to go? You'll lose your life. Zhugen. Ike was a bit angry, he stared at Zhugen. But Zhugen just called out in response. Ike and Zhugen still arrived at the ship, which had a hole and was sinking continuously. Now it has sunk by 1/3. Burning everywhere, but no bloody battle scenes were seen. Ike stepped lightly on the deck, but he still chose to believe in Zhugen's judgment. Be careful. Ike has tried to avoid the crowd as much as possible. Zhugen lightly scraped a door with his front paws, which was the cabin of the ship. It seems that they haven't checked here yet. What's behind the cabin? Ike gently pushed away, but something blocked him. He saw that it was actually a person's foot, with the body of an old man lying horizontally on the ground. Oh, it looks like he's dead. Suddenly, there came a shout. Keep looking, the key fragment of the dragon's secret treasure. Ike searched everywhere. Wait, what is this person holding in their hand? Ike broke the person's hand apart. A key fragment. Zhugen, are you looking for this thing? Report, 2 figures were just discovered later. Chase. Al and Zhugen have already run ashore, and they are shooting arrows from behind. Run quickly, Zhugen. Be careful with your bows and arrows. Suddenly, a hole appeared on the rock wall, and a person stood at the entrance, shouting. Come in here. Ike and Zhugen suddenly crawled in. Who are you? Why are you helping us? Shouldn't you say your name before asking this question? I'm Ike, from Stark Town in the north. This is my dragon, Zhugen. I'm Laika, a monster hunter. Of course, Ike knew what a monster hunter was. He heard that his father was a monster hunter, but he was bitten to death by a void digger. Did you also see that the passenger ship was attacked? We went to help. My grandfather is on that passenger ship, damn it, Laika said. Hey, don't cry. Wait, look at what I brought back, Ike suddenly thought. Is this? Secret treasure fragment. Laika clearly knew this thing. What? This is what my grandfather went to search for. Legend has it that dragons like to collect treasures. They pile up all their wealth in their own nest, and that nest can only be found with the key they left behind, which is also known as the dragon's secret treasure. Cut, it's just money. It's not just money, it's said that there are artifacts in the treasure that enhance people's magical abilities, as well as medicines that bring people back to life. They have the power to destroy the world. Chapter 003. Dragon Taming Exam. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Destroy the world. Ike said with his mouth wide open. That's why this thing caused that passenger ship to be attacked. Ike finally understood the reason why the passenger ship was attacked. In this world, as long as the benefits and rewards are high enough, any action taken will not feel strange. However, Ike is just pretending to destroy the world. Everyone would say this to indicate the seriousness of the situation or to demonstrate its value. But it's not that simple. If it's really like this, it's not something that his little character can touch. There will definitely be skilled ambushes nearby, and how can he approach it? Ike hesitated a bit. Although this so-called treasure key is so precious, only one will have no value. Moreover, from the behavior of the group just now, it seems unsafe to own this thing and may also pose a danger to Dragon. Since this thing is so important, I'd better not hold it in my hand. I'll sell it to you, Laika, for a price. No, I can't hold the treasure key either. I have to hand it over to the guild. Guild. Since it's that kind of place, I'll just hold it myself, and they won't give me any bonuses. Of course, come with me and bring your dragon. Is there really a bonus? How much will it be? Is there 1,000 silver coins? Of course. Oh, that's great, Dragon. You really have a keen sense of treasure and didn't disappoint us for risking our lives to find this thing. Dragon, do you want the dragon's secret treasure? But it's too dangerous and could cause disaster. Let's sell it for money instead. Zhuogen seemed somewhat unhappy after hearing this, and a strong dragon breath erupted from his nose, stirring Ike's hair. What do you mean by blowing with your nose? A broken key is useless. Be obedient. Ike touched Zhuogen to calm his emotions. This fragment looks like a shattered mirror, smooth and sparkling. But if a mirror breaks, how many pieces will it break into? What's the use of this small piece for Ike? Laika, we won't go to the so-called guild anymore. We have to continue our journey. Let's leave this to you. Ike pulled back to Dragon with all his might, and the two of them draped themselves in the green of the bushes and left among the cedars. Laika looked at Ike's departing figure and the dragon beside him with great interest. After Ike walked away, a figure appeared out of thin air around Laika, and Ike didn't notice it. Wherever the trees and grass covered everything, blood and water flowed out. A giant tree not far from here was cut off by the waste, and white smoke scattered everywhere. I don't know if Ike is deliberately pretending not to notice or really not, but with Ike's personality, he won't bring trouble on his own. Ike handed the desperately retrieved secret key to Laika, and he felt that those people would soon find it again, which would be another trouble. Now we can't go to any strange guilds with this strange hunter named Laika. What's important for Ike now is to go to the imperial capital to obtain the dragon taming certificate, otherwise Dragon will be taken back by the kingdom. As the capital city of a kingdom, the center of the entire territory is indeed immensely vast. If the largest city in the north is Fengshui City, then in front of the imperial capital, it is just like a small jurisdiction. And there are 8 imperial capitals in this scale of jurisdiction. Ike always dreams of coming to the imperial capital, and he once thought that his parents might be in the capital, but that was just a thought. The towering tower and church seem to have been built for centuries, reaching a height of 100 meters with huge city walls. Merchants from all over the world, bustling streets, steaming steam, and complex roads. If you don't overlook them from a high altitude, you will definitely get lost. In other words, why not plan the roads better? Ike followed the map and found a place to train dragons. A huge red signboard with 2 intertwined dragons carved on it, with 2 swords inserted in the middle. Below is the entrance, guarded by guards. Next to it is a pavilion, and there is a long queue behind it. We are here to take the dragon taming certificate exam. Where is your dragon? This. Okay, please queue up over there to pay the fee. You arrived on time, but if it's any later, it will close today. Ike walked to the nearby pavilion. Hello, 500 registration fees. What? 500. You can't afford this money and still want to raise a dragon. What do you rely on to feed it? Let it hunt on its own. Yeah, that's how I've always been doing it. Ike paid the registration fee and walked into the door. I'm sorry, everyone gave way, everyone stood up, and your dragon also stood up. Remember, this will also be recorded in the score, said a person with a big beard standing in front of everyone. Zhuo Jian has been anxiously looking around, and since he arrived in the imperial capital, he has been very excited, reminded Ike. Zhuogan, stand still and don't move. Big Beard continued. I am your examiner, everyone. Now we will conduct 4 assessments to prove that you truly have the ability to control your dragon. The first one is tacit understanding. You need to help each other overcome our examiner. The second one is calmness. We will anger your dragon, but of course it will not harm them. You need to calm it down in a short time. The third one is flying. You must ride your dragon and fly along the designated route. The fourth one is knowledge exam. You need to fill out a basic knowledge paper about dragons. Alright, that's all for now. I'll give you 1 hour to polish up, and then you'll take the exam under the supervision of the Royal Guard. After listening to these, Ike covered his face in pain. Oh no, I don't know anything about Dragon's Knowledge Questionnaire. Hi, is this your dragon? What's his name? A tall little sister suddenly walked up to Ike. Ah. Are you calling me? I'm Ike from Stark Town in the north. No, the girls in the imperial capital are really beautiful. They look almost like Shirley. If those people saw them, their eyes would definitely be straight. Oh, I'm asking about your dragon. Zhuo Jian looked up with a hint of pride and paced back and forth. Ikra Zhuogan. Oh, his name is Zhuogan. Zhuogan, a very nice name. How about it? Do you have confidence in the exam? Ike was a bit puzzled. Why did this person ask him these things? Is he a bad person, but he looks pretty good? I'm quite confident about everything else, but the knowledge exam. What's going on? I'm afraid I won't pass. Ah. Maybe I can help you, she smiled. How can I help you? Chapter 004. Longshi Island. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. She drew a magic formation in X palm, like a pentagram. But it's even more complicated, and after reading it, people don't know how to draw it. When Ike was drawn, his palms itched. It seems that this should be a type of magic. Some people say that magic gave birth to monsters like dragons, while others say that magic has its rationality because of the existence of dragons. That's it. As long as I draw this magic circle in your palm, I can write the answer in your hand during the exam. How about it? 500 won't be a loss. Ike said reluctantly. You bad guy, I only have 500 left. Aren't you a nobleman from the north? Otherwise, how did you come all the way to the imperial capital? I'm not a nobleman, I'm an orphan. I walked all the way with Zhuogan. It started soon, and Ike and Zhuogan stood on the stone platform surrounded by 4 armored dolls, which was the content of the assessment. Zhuo Jian leaped up, his dragon claws stomped on the back of a doll, biting into the doll's hand, and the doll turned into a wooden stake. Chugan, kick his back, yes, step on him, bite the mark on the wooden stake. Alright, this is just a magical puppet. Don't be afraid of hurting him, bite me. Zhuo raised his neck and threw the doll out, hitting the other 3 incoming dolls. His abdomen continued to bulge, and a fire dragon exhaled and burned all the dolls to ashes. Spit fire. Spit fire. Turn around, that's it. Next is the flight assessment. Dragons can help humans achieve their dreams of flying, so if you have a dragon but don't ride it around, it will definitely be the biggest regret. Ike didn't fly many times because Zhuogen's previous body size was too small to carry him. Ike clenched Zhuogen's corner and stepped onto his back. Zhuogen's dragon scales also stiffened a lot, feeling a bit uncomfortable. Come on, Zhuogen, take it slow. I'll wait until I sit down before taking off. You're always too anxious, I haven't even sat down yet. Zhuogen. Suddenly, Zhuogen let out such a cry. Before Ike could hear it at first, he suddenly realized that it was Zhuogen himself who called it, and happily said. I know that's your name. Wow, Zhuogen, can you speak? Zhuogen spread his wings, flapped, and stirred up the surrounding airflow. The dragon's claws kicked the ground, slowly taking off, and gradually taking off. The speed of the wings flapping slowed down. Fortunately, this place was where the dragon was trained, and there was only such a large space for the dragon to fly, otherwise it would have hit the ceiling long ago. Ikefyu lowered his body and leaned towards Zhuogen's ear. Hey, slow down. When can you fly so high? Zhuogen is another glider, crossing the designated marked aerial route. Ike thinks that Zhuogen is also very happy now. After all, as a dragon, we all enjoy the freedom of flight. Ike felt the dance of Zhuogen's body. Okay, then just circle around. Come on, whoa. Zhuogen, besides what else, it's really tough on your butt. I might need to buy a pair of thick pants, Ike said, feeling a bit embarrassed as he got down and touched his buttocks. Alright, all of you have passed. Now go and collect the dragon taming certificate. Ike hugged Zhuogen, his face pressed against its scales, and shouted loudly. I didn't expect it to be so simple. Zhuogen, that's great. You won't be taken away. I have obtained the dragon taming certificate. Zhuogen also shouted in response. On the way back, I met the girl again, and Ike greeted me. Hi, thank you. You really know dragons. It's just common sense. So, what's your name? Oh, what I mean is, you also have a dragon and your dragon looks different from Zhuogen. That dragon is pink, with a slender tail and feathers at the end, but it doesn't look like ordinary feathers, like ribbons. This feathered dragon is not mine, I'm just helping others take exams. Oh, I know someone named Laika. Ike showed her the rune in his palm, which she had drawn for him before, but fortunately it wasn't discovered. Laika. I don't know. She shook her head. Is it called feathertail dragon? Ike said. Feathertail dragons are a type of dragon, as you can see. Their tails are generally thinner and longer, with feathers instead of bone spurs growing on them. Some may even have multiple tails. Oh. Your dragon belongs to the Black Shadow Dragon, right? The iconic Black and Flame. Ah, this is the first time I've heard of it. Ike is not familiar with all monsters, and the same goes for dragons. By the way, you don't have any money now, right? I'll introduce you to a place to work. Because he was already penniless, Ike really had to consider making a living. After all, no matter how he lived in the capital, he had to spend money. During work, I was assigned to a freight station where many boxes were delivered and divided into different packages. Ike's task was to redistribute the packages to the people in the city with Zhuogen. There was a place to stay, so Ike accepted. Alright, young man, you'll get 7 yuan for one delivery, okay? If you can't reach the standard daily quantity, then there's not a penny left. Do you hear me? Got it. Tell your damn dragon to be careful and not smash the goods. Ike rode the shogun back and forth in the city, although it was generally not allowed to ride dragons casually, with the permission of cargo, Ike said with some heartache. Shogun, you're running really fast. At first, I was worried that you wouldn't be able to handle it. Shugen seems very relaxed. Shugen. Alright, there's no way ahead, fly higher. A day's work is always tiring, but Ike finally made enough money to buy food. He placed the steaming chunks of meat in front of Shugen, knowing that he had mistreated him before. He was a dragon, and he couldn't eat enough every day. Alright Shugen, let's eat it. Take a big bite and share what's not enough with me. Ike relies on Zogan to sleep, and there is also a possibility that Zogan relies on Ike to sleep. One day, Ike delivered a package to a nursing home. Open the door, your package. As soon as Ike finished knocking on the door, Shogun weakly called out from behind and then fell down. Shugen, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? The door opened and an old man in white walked out. Are you tired? Why don't you tell me? Let's take a break. Ike tried to pick up Shugen. Hey, kid, where did you get this dragon from? Ah. What do you mean, Grandpa? This is the legendary Shadow Dragon Emperor, and the scales on his neck prove that he is golden. Ike looked at the golden scales, indeed. Why didn't he pay attention? What? Anti-scale, I didn't notice, did it grow yesterday? How dare you let him engage in such a lowly job? He was born for battle. It seems that he has fallen into a weak state due to insufficient energy intake. You need to go to Longshi Island in the south to find Obsidian in order for him to recover. At this point, the caregiver pulled back the old man. Why did you run out again? I'm sorry, kid. This is a patient from our nursing home, he's a bit confused. Come on, I'll sign for it. Shadow Dragon Emperor. Longshi Island, Obsidian. Ike murmured to himself. Chapter 005. Blood Dragon Cave. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 006. Searching for Obsidian. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. With a loud bang, a thick layer of stone powder smoke scattered behind, and the murals on the stone walls that had not worked for many years began to flicker. They were not murals, but magic circles made of dragon paintings that had once lived here. Originally intended to protect the nest. The cave behind is sealed. What should I do? What should we do? That's great, that's great. The voice of dragon anger is a sign that connects the past and the future. We've encountered a big opportunity, Ike. Take this sword. Andre reached out and pulled out two swords from the scabbard behind him, throwing one to Ike. What does it mean? The meaning is that our dragon has been saved, Obsidian, it may have appeared now. Andre was very excited, his eyes flickering, and he raised his iron sword and shouted to everyone around him. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Andre, the son of Duke Drummond of the Western Territory. I am now summoning brave warriors willing to assist in the search for Obsidian. After the mission is completed, each person will receive 500,000 yuan and a reward of honor. Everyone just paused for a moment. Hee, are you joking, kid? This is not the West End, it's Longshi Island. We're not citizens either, we're here for treasure. Do you think you can command us? Andre frowned. He must seize the opportunity this time, so he must seek more opportunities. Only then did the family members be isolated from the outside. Damn it, these short-sighted people only come in with Ike, and everyone else is blocked from the outside. It's very dangerous now, but such opportunities can't be easily obtained, and Drummond's time is running out, so there's no other choice but to take a chance. Andre, if this is the way to save Shugen, I am willing to assist you. Ike, hold your sword well, the battle may start soon. Obviously, Andre is well versed in the stories of Longstone Island. He leads Ike forward in a maze-like nest, which has many huge stone pillars, extremely wide caves, and a high dome. Andre slowed down his pace. Did you hear the sound of water? It's the sound of dragon blood. As long as we follow along to the place with the loudest sound, we can find clues to Obsidian, which is said to be the crystal of dragon blood. I heard it, it's over there. Ike pointed forward and ran over, kicking a piece of gravel. The gravel rolled down and collided with the rift ahead. Ike stood in front of the rift, and he couldn't believe that the terrain inside the cave had changed so much. There's no way ahead, Andre. Andre pointed to the nearby stone wall, which he was already familiar with. Only by building ropes or hanging wooden stakes left by previous people on the wall could he pass through. Be careful, jump along the wooden stakes on the nearby rock wall. Don't trigger the mechanism or trigger the formation. Where have those people gone? They should be looking for other treasures, right? Not everyone wants obsidian, at most they just take it to an auction house. Ike held his breath, his heart racing, and he stood on the lowest wooden stake, trembling and trembling. Andre followed closely behind. Suddenly, a black shadow flashed by and leaped up with extremely agile steps, directly jumping onto the wooden stake. Kid, hurry up. Obsidian is about to melt. What? Anyway, if you dare not go, let me go first. His skills are so fast, he looks very familiar with this place. Is he just a gem collector, Jones? Oh, you know my name. I also know your name, Andre, right? I was sent by your father, let me lead the way. It seems that Jones knows Andre and the Duke of the West, and Andre thinks it's a great thing to have an extra helper with such strength, so he naturally lets him lead the way. Along the way, they carefully crossed the rift zone along the stone wall and arrived at a black spring. This place is all formed by the convergence of black water dripping along the stalactites above it, which is also known as dragon blood. At this time, there are several shining stones in the black spring, which are crystals, obsidian. 3 people stood under the huge black stalactite ceiling. That's it here. Is this obsidian? Be careful. Ike pounced on Andre, his sword cutting through the air. Jones swung his sword again, facing Andre. Andre reacted and flipped the sword with his back hand, holding it with one hand to block it. Jones had a wicked smile on his face, and he popped out his iron hook from his waist, grabbed the stalactite on top, swung it over, and took the obsidian from the pool. Hee, my dragon doesn't need obsidian. If I kill the son of the Duke of the West here, no one will find me. Damn it, Jones, what are you trying to do? Bring the obsidian over here. Bring it over. Hee, I'm a gemstone collector. I'll give whoever bids the highest, but unfortunately you can't afford such a high price. Give it to me. Ike threw the sword in his hand and cut the rope. Jones took out his staff and pointed it towards the blood pool, causing Blackwater to automatically curl into 3 human figures. Let my doll accompany you. Damn it, he has already run far away. No, he hasn't. The cave door hasn't opened yet, so he must still be inside. With this doll, we can find him. Jones. Difficult guys, do you really want to die? I can't kill Andre, can't I even move your hands, kid? Ah. This water doll is a high-level magic, with an iron sword that won't harm it. Andre and Ike are both entangled, and black water keeps pouring in their noses and mouths. Ike uses his sword to support his body, but Andre is dying due to breathing difficulties. In a daze, Ike seemed to see Zhugen. It was the first time he found Zhugen, and he had no idea how it came from. Could it be the stone that fell from the sky that day? Is Zhugen a pitiful gift from heaven to accompany him? Is he the chosen one by heaven? He seemed to see Zhugen lying weakly in the cage, and the snow would drown him, and General, isn't he unworthy of owning a dragon like this? Perhaps he should have sold Dragon at that time. Jen outside the cave seemed worried about Ike and let out a howl, Jen. Just as Blackwater penetrated his nose, a little golden light floated out of Al's body, which was Jen's breath. The golden light merged into the black water, and in an instant, a torn image flashed above Ike, a pair of dragon eyes. Fall into the endless night. What is this? This is the real Obsidian, dragon blood illusion. Defeat the opponents you encounter and you will receive Obsidian. I cannot defeat them. No, you can do it. Ike, you can do it. Chapter 007. Dragon Slaying Demon Mentor Guild appears. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ha. Ha. Ike opened his mouth, panting nervously and slowly. The image of the black dragon disappeared in front of him, leaving only a pitch-black space, and 4 figures appeared in the picture. Ike lost Andre's sight, and Andre disappeared into Ike's sight. Fireflies appear in the sky, densely packed, forming a humanoid image. Blurred and indistinct, Ike carefully recognized and became even more terrifying. You. Al looked at 4 identical figures in surprise. We are you, Ike. No, it's not me, Ike replied. Although the 4 men were exactly the same shape as Ike, their whole bodies were as black as ink. Yes, he is your lover. But can you stop me? In a daze, Ike's mind flashed like a lantern, recalling his memories over the years, and looking back to the beginning, it was a figure. Who is this person? Oh, are you still so insecure or afraid of crowds? Said another image of Ike. Why is just this not enough? How do you compare yourself to others? You don't qualify for Obsidian. You don't qualify. You don't have the right to become the owner of Dragon. You can't save it. The most damn thing is your dream, ha ha ha, Ike. Have you ever seen the world clearly? Dragon is my dragon. No, it's not. Yes. Listen, I really have to take good care of him. Give me Obsidian. Ike rushed towards the half-figure of the snowflake light spot ahead, but only passed through. His eyes were stunned, and his thoughts also stopped in the air. No, all you want to protect is yourself. From beginning to end, you are an orphan. Don't deceive yourself. You just managed to find a place to rest, right? I'm right, Ike. Do you think Zogan wants you? Do you think Zogan needs you? Do you know he's a legendary dragon? In other words, you don't have the right to shout here and ask me to give him to you. Ah. I know who I am. Damn it, even if I don't have a family, what's going on? I just need Zogan, what's going on? Ike pulled out his iron sword on his back, held it tightly in his hands, lowered his chin slightly, his face gloomy, and slashed through the illusion in front of him with a slash. But those illusions kept reuniting, and Ike could only keep chopping. Andre stood with a person, who was a boss-level monster hunter who followed Andre to Dragonstone Island. He was Duncan, the chairman of the Dragon-Slaying Demon Master Guild, wearing a blue thunder-patterned robe, with a delicate face and holding a stone in his hand. Andre said to the stone in his hand, "Boss Dragon Destroyer, is this the real Obsidian?" The person known as the Dragon-Slaying Demon Master said, Thank you. It seems that the legend is true. Is the Drummond family enough to trigger a mutation in the Dragon Cave? But why is it today? Is there any condition? If that's the case, Drummond must take it back. Obsidian is usually guarded by ancient dragon souls, and that child should not be able to live. We've been waiting for so long, let's go and report the situation to Duke Drummond. Andre glanced at the place where Ike had disappeared, and he also wanted to wait, but the longer he stayed in this dragon cave, the more unexpected things would inevitably occur. Moreover, in this world, even among hunters who belong to the same boss level, only the senior members of the Dragon-Slaying Mage Guild may survive in the Dragon Soul. Okay. Zhuo Zhen lay in front of the cage, with several people using leather straps to tie the cage tightly in front. There are still many people standing next to them, holding long spears and maintaining order in the nightly team. They all hold their heads high, with silver helmets covering their eyes and leaving their chins open. From the jawline, they should all be sturdy. Zhuo Zhen's breathing was slow and deep, indicating that he was already very weak and could not even open his eyes. According to Duncan, this blue thunderbolt robe dragon slayer, also known as petrification, is a type of dragon-slaying magic that is applied to particularly powerful dragon bloodlines and will continue with their lineage. Duncan said, "All right, everyone, I urgently need to go back and report the situation. Andre, please show my respect to the Duke of the West. It seems that although they have some privileges, they are not foolish enough to make enemies everywhere." Andre could not refuse either, as he had already received orders before that if any other members of the kingdom intervened, they would be handed over to them. But Andre is still worried about the safety of Drummond. The groom waved his whip and, under the setting sun, carried 2 giant dragons forward. The wheels were shrouded in smoke and mist, as if stepping on rolling clouds. The shield behind him was marked with the symbol of the king, the golden cross star. "Drive! Drive!" An old man walked over and gestured to Andre, holding a carrier pigeon in his hand. He untied the rope from his feet and handed it to Andre. "Young master, we have received an urgent carrier pigeon. The Duke has already learned about the situation here and asked us to set off overnight to report the situation to the west." "Okay, I got it." Andre nodded and gestured for the old man to retreat to the periphery. Chapter 008. Kingdom Change of Owner. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Unexpectedly not dead. "It's a miracle," Jones said as he walked out of the shadow behind the pillar and looked at the dying Ike. Jones was the president of the Hidden Guild, and he had originally intended to stop all of this. He knew everything from Duke Drummond to Duncan's rebellion plan, but he really didn't expect the Shadow Dragon Emperor to appear and react with Drummond, who belonged to the Light Dragon. Even after searching as a gem collector for so many years, the invisible Obsidian appeared, and the triggered dragon's soul almost took the life of the person in front of him. It seems that the kingdom is about to change, and Jones picked up Ike and retreated back into the shadows. Shortly thereafter, Duncan teamed up with Duke of the Western Realm, Drummond, to plan and kill the king. With the help of dragon-slaying magic and 2 last surviving ancient dragons, the Light Dragon Drummond and the Shadow Dragon Drogon, they usurped the throne. The Duke of the Western Realm proclaimed himself king, and various monster hunter guilds that supported the old royal family in the kingdom left the kingdom. However, the monster hunter guilds, which were the main combat forces of the kingdom, also left, reigniting war between the Snow City and the imperial capital. Ike felt the light again. "You're awake. Where is this? Where is this? Do you insist on asking such a silly question? Where is this? Hee, you think the protagonist in the novel woke up, right? Oh my goodness, where is this? This is the boiler room, the place for boiling water. I'm Randall, the one in charge of boiling water." The room was made of stone and blackened by smoke. The smoke came from a large boiler in the center, with wood burning under the stove and catching fire. Most of the smoke and heat dissipated through the ventilated stone cave, while a small portion remained, so there was some heat. The bed where Ike was lying was a makeshift one, with Randall sleeping inside. On the stone platform, there was a cup of hot tea, mostly made of hot cocoa. Randall took a sip and the water stains stuck to his beard. A small part of it sticks to the clothes, and the clothes are already shiny, obviously not washed all year round. "Are you still on Longshi Island now?" "Longshi Island? What the hell is Dragon?" "This is the giant stone valley in the Western Realm. Are you sleeping like a fool? I see your thinking is a bit slow. You've really impressed Ace. You like to push any trouble to me. Who is Ace? Did he bring me here? Where is he now?" I have something to ask him. I want to find my dragon. Why are you chattering so incessantly? It seems better to let you sleep quietly. Is Ace something you can see whenever you want? He is our guild investigation captain. Are you still cursing him? He is my superior, I am your superior, I can say him, you can only speak ill of me. Do you understand? I have been taking care of your little life for so many days, and I am your benefactor. Randall said as he picked up a bundle of dry firewood and threw it into the fire. The flames rose and shone on X's face. I beg you, Randall, I really need to find my dragon. Ike didn't want to talk to this person anymore, he did feel that his memory was a bit confused. He knew he should have been seriously injured at the time, but he wanted to know more about Dragon's situation. You also have a dragon. What is the name of your dragon? I'll ask Ace then. Dragon, his name is Dragon. He is black, with erect pupils, a row of protrusions on his forehead, sharp ears, and a spiky tail. Ike danced and described to Randall, hoping that it was not just him who was brought back. Randall. At this moment, someone outside called Randall's name, and Randall immediately knew it was Ace. It was the investigating captain who brought almost dying Ike to him. Ike's injuries had already been treated, but his body was unusually cold, so he was sent to the boiler room. Ace, you figured it out. This kid's awake and has been looking for the dragon. What's your name? Ace asked. Ike. Ike, your dragon no longer belongs to you. His soul has been absorbed by Obsidian, and his power has been taken away by the tyrant Duncan. What? Anyway, forget about that dragon. Who are you? Stealth Guild. If you don't believe it, you can take a look at the latest collected photos. Ace took out a piece of paper from the bag hanging on his belt, which was probably made by some kind of mirror magic. On the paper is a picture of the imperial capital, and the dragon on it is Dragon. Ike will not mistake it. He was first pleasantly surprised. Since that was the case, it indicated that Zhuogen's illness had improved, and he appeared to be in better condition, with a larger body shape. This is Dragon, great, he hasn't died yet. Not dead. Although the monster's body is still alive, its soul has already died. He's your dragon, isn't he? He no longer knows you. What? This is an ancient dragon, and it is the highest level, the king of the shadow dragon. Duncan used his inherited magic to sacrifice his and the light dragon's souls, touching the power in their bloodline. Now they are just two war machines. But you absolutely don't know about these. Zhuogen is actually the Shadow Dragon Emperor. Ike's body was wrapped in bandages, and just sitting up straight and getting out of bed was excruciating pain. He lifted his right arm, tore open a bit of the bandage, revealing a scab of blood, and fought his clone for a long time in that illusion. Randall asked, "You stay quiet for now. You can't care about anything big happening outside. If you lose it, then you lose it. Was your injury caused by Zhuogen?" "The president didn't tell me," Ace said. "President? Who is it? He saved me. Where is he now?" "The president won't be back in a few days. I'll leave first, so you can stay with Randall for now." Ace finished speaking and left, he still had something to deal with. The boiler room only left Ike and Randall, and as the firewood in the stove continued to burn, the days gradually passed. Randall brought some rice and vegetable roll. "Are you hungry? There are some rice and vegetable roll here." Ike complained, "No, it's been waiting for so many days. The president hasn't come back yet, and no one has notified me." Randall laughed and said, "Who do you think you are? And now that the kingdom is undergoing great changes and there are too many things to handle, the Hunter Guild is leaving one after another and not taking an oath of allegiance to the new king. No one has taken on the territory they were stationed in before and the task of eliminating monsters, or in other words, most of them are no longer doing their duty. Nowadays, everyone only focuses on private bounty missions among the people. It's strange to say that this monster has been rampant for the most time in a century. It's said that Duke Drummond has violated the Holy Cross. You can't go anywhere now. With the hunters hunting and the sudden increase of monsters, not only this huge valley, but also the original route of the entire kingdom is not safe. Randall said, "Okay, I see you're also idle, staying in this boiler room all day. I'll take you out for a walk, but you can't go far. In fact, if it's just idle, Ike only has one thing. After all, he was an orphan before, and having someone to accompany him has made him less lonely. Moreover, Randall is taking care of him these days, and he can't easily get angry with others, but it's also good to go out and explore." Chapter 009. Diggers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Stealth Guild camp is built on a huge rock, even in the Stonehenge Valley, with only 3 stones of this volume. Vines climb along the rock wall, and strange rocks are everywhere, seemingly ready to move and attack passers-by at any time. This belongs to the Western Territory, which is the territory of Duke Drummond. Andre should have already informed his father of Joan's rebellion in the Blood Dragon Cave on Longstone Island that day, but after these days, Jones and the Stealth Guild did not receive any documents from the Imperial capital. Either Drummond needed to stabilize his rule and make every effort to deal with the rebellion in the North and Middle-earth, or Joan's identity was equally noble. Are you an orphan? What's your full name? You can't just call it Ike, even though it does seem like an orphan's name. Full name. The person from the Wind and Snow City Relief Center used to give me a name, Werner Eck. Randall said, "So, you're from Wind and Snow City. I know a few people from the Monster Hunter Guild over there. It's not by chance that high-level monsters like dragons appear next to you." Ike tore off the bandage on his hand and observed the wound. Has Shugen really lost his consciousness? Is there any way to save him? I don't know, I'm just a boiler burner. The president should have a way, right? Randall really doesn't know anything, and not every boiler repairman or floor sweeper is an extraordinary expert. Randall, no, there's nothing I can do. I've personally killed the dragon soul triggered by Obsidian in Zogan. Ike covered his face, his expression very painful. He increasingly felt that what he had cut off in the illusion on Longshore Island that day was not himself, but Shrugan. Dragon soul. Are you confused? Can you just rely on your kid to defeat the dragon soul? Wait, there's something wrong with the big pit ahead. Randall stopped and looked at the big pit ahead. Judging from the signs of soil turning, it was definitely just dug. Who would dig a hole on the road for them to pass through? Unless it's creating a trap, or a better explanation is the digging bug wandering in the Stonehenge Valley. Although Randall is considered a vegetable, he has been in the guild for so many years and has never eaten pork or seen pigs run. He is also familiar with the knowledge of some monsters. Monsters are divided into 4 categories: insects, fish, birds, and beasts. Dragons are the first of the beasts, while earth diggers are insects. They survive by devouring soil particles, lumps, and absorbing small insects, such as earthworms, beetles, and mice. Generally, the caves they dig have scaly scratches. Randall suddenly shouted, "Hurry up, this was dug by the digger. And it's not at an ordinary level, it's the void digger. Ike, grab my hand, no matter how you pull, don't let go, you know. What should we do now?" "You're a monster hunter, are you confident, Randall?" Ike asked. "I'm not a fighter. Hunter levels are divided into intern, formal, senior, professional, master, and boss. But Randall is just an intern hunter. This worm needs at least 3 formal hunters to deal with. So hurry up and run. We haven't been far from the guild camp yet, and your injuries are just right. Are you still thinking that the battle won't be successful?" The 2 of them ran in front, while the ground digger chased behind. If it were in the past, Ike would definitely run faster than Randall, but his injuries are not yet healed, and the ground digger has dug many tunnels underground. By drilling into these tunnels, it is impossible to predict its whereabouts. However, generally speaking, this area does not fall within the range of activities of ground diggers. Randall, we can't run away anymore. The speed of this worm is too fast, and we will soon lose strength. Moreover, it can launch an attack from underground, and we can only hide at a high place. However, both sides are difficult to climb stones, and we can only counterattack to make him feel pain. Stop the speed and wait for rescue. I didn't expect your kid to have such a clear mind. Do you want to become a hunter? I think you would be a very strong hunter. Randall, hurry up, my wound hasn't fully healed yet and I can't walk anymore. Randall pulled out the dagger he used to clean the branches on the side of the path from his waist, ran towards the digging bug, and with a knife he cut across its right side. Its skin was cut open, and blue liquid flowed out. Ultimately, it was just a bug. But if he could handle it with confidence, Randall wouldn't let Ike run away. When in pain, the ground digger reacted quickly and quickly twisted its body. Its mouth was like a pipe, with sharp spikes growing inside, circling around it. And this ground digger is at the void level. Randall explained, there are two levels of insects. Physical and void, with void being stronger than physical. While twisting, the ground digger rolled and left a red mark on Randall's arm. Fortunately, it was just a scratch. But after being scratched, the bug became angry and crawled straight towards Ike. Ike swung a stone towards it, breaking a row of its sharp mouthparts. He became even angrier and rushed forward, but Ike didn't have time to dodge. He could only protect himself with his hand, wrapped in bandages and directly pounded into the mouth of the ground digger. The bandages were stained red with blood. A figure rushed from the right side, holding a knife and leaping up, with the blade reaching in front of Werner Eck. The ground digger left a scar on its back, and blue liquid sprayed out from the scar. It released Eck and turned to attack the person attacking him from behind. This person is not Randall, but a girl. Ike recognized at a glance that the newcomer was the girl who had helped him during the dragon training assessment, but he didn't know her name. She has short hair, which may make her movements more convenient when performing tasks, such as entering some tunnels. The hair color is white, which is a common color in Middle-earth. However, in the north, people generally have black hair, and Ike also has black hair. Her hair was hanging over her shoulders, above her ears, with two red hair clips placed near her temples. Her face turned a bit red from the rush. She pulled out the long knife inserted into the head of the ground digger, and the void-level ground digger collapsed to the ground. Blue blood flowed down the blade in her hand, dripping onto the ground. She said, "Don't stand foolishly, go quickly. The Shurji spider is nearby. This ground digger is evading its capture. You guys retreat first, I'll cut off the rest." Immediately afterwards, several people rushed from afar, explaining the situation. "We couldn't keep an eye on this Shurji. But he was seriously injured in order to break through the trap, and now is the best time to hunt this bug, hee 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 hee. That's 100,000 silver coins, I can't even imagine how cool I would be after receiving this bounty. They are all monster hunters, not sure which guild they belong to, or independent hunters. Don't underestimate the enemy. It was just because you underestimated them that they escaped. Although this is only at the physical level, it is still a bug at the top of the food chain. Once he seizes the opportunity, we will all face retaliation." A middle-aged man arranged, "Caroline, cover these two wounded soldiers and leave. Go to the camp to notify Ace to arrange for reinforcements, number 34, yes." Caroline was the first girl to appear and save Ike, and also the person Ike met during the dragon training exam. "Where's your dragon? Why can't you even defeat the digger?" "Dragon. Let's start with simple hemostasis. Stop bleeding. Yes, you looked at your forearm yourself, didn't you feel any pain?" Ike didn't really feel much pain, perhaps it was the venom secreted by the digger's mouth that numbed his nerves and inhibited blood clotting. "You bite on this towel first, I have brought medicine specifically designed to deal with the toxin from the digging worm. Ike bit into the towel, smelled the fragrance, and held his breath, afraid to move. Caroline took out a bottle of purple medicine. Chapter 010. The Last Dragon Blood. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Caroline tore open the bloody bandage and applied the purple potion. Where's your dragon? Ike asked. Caroline's expression was desolate. Since Drummond joined forces with the Dragon Slayer Guild to seize the throne, all the dragons in the territory have been taken over by them, and my feathertail dragon has also been captured. Isn't it yours? I guess so, but mine may be the first one. I don't know what plan Duncan had to recall the dragons within his territory, but some dragons are particularly powerful. How could they listen to him? Is it possible that the dragon hunters are pouring out their forces? But how did you come here? And you're still with people from our guild, Caroline pointed to Randall with a smirk on her face. How do you know what guild I am? No, look at it. Caroline pointed to the metal pendant around her waist, and then to Randall's chest, both of which were cloaks. This is the symbol of our stealth guild, meaning hunters waiting for opportunities to move. Originally, Caroline was also a monster hunter in the stealth guild, so those few people should also be. Are you hunting the stone spider? Ike didn't know what a stone spider was. Perhaps it is a type of stone spider. Caroline nodded and said, yes, we are monster hunters. If we have missions and bounties, we have to take them. And I also need points to upgrade the hunter title. I don't want to be just an official hunter all the time. Randall was surprised and said, are you already a formal hunter? What's up here? Alright, the wound has been treated, hurry up and leave. There's more medicine in the camp. Wait, Ike grabbed Randall's clothes and said with concentration. He vaguely heard a sound, very close, as if right in his ear, a deep hissing, like a trembling thread passing through. He is very familiar with it, this is Zhuo Zhen's call. Zhuogan. Next to Caroline is a stone wall, from which green vines hang and interweave, even embedded in the wall, forming a network. At first, no one heard any sound. The call suddenly sounded, and Caroline carefully distinguished it and said, this is the call of dragons. The dragon hunting guild cannot control all dragons, there will always be something missed. Ike said, I am very familiar with this voice. Yes, this is the call of Shadow Dragon, it's not surprising if you think it's familiar. Let's go back to the guild first. Caroline's expression became tense, and if the visitor was not kind, they would encounter trouble. How could this small boulder valley suddenly become so lively? Caroline held on to the handle of the knife, with a large knife hanging from her slender waist. The pink handle was wrapped in coarse cloth, and she drew out the blade, appearing alert, revealing her fair back neck. The graceful curve extended to her shoulders, and Ike noticed a mark there, resembling a tattoo. A red dragon. A gust of wind came from afar, and the sand was dancing with its wings flapping. A shadow dragon flew into the air. Erectile pupils, black all over, protruding forehead, and spines at the back of the tail are typical features of shadow dragon. However, can they handle this shadow dragon? This place was not far from the campsite, anyway. Werner Eck was injured. He and Randall had not gone far, but by now they had already reached the gate of the campsite. Just cross a ditch dug to defend against monsters. Previously, Ike and Randall took a different path, the one they took when being chased by the digger. This dragon seems to be chasing us. What's going on? In theory, wild dragons have a solitary and arrogant personality. If they don't actively provoke them, they won't attack people. Grab this vine and swing it over to reach the camp area. This dragon won't be foolish enough to attack the camp. Wait a moment, my hand doesn't seem to stop bleeding, Ike pointed to his right hand. Randall said, grab my hand first. The medicine bottle I carry on my body has been used up. I will only have the medicine when I return to the campsite. Caroline aimed at the dragon's body and pressed the flying claw device installed on her arm. The flying claw quickly shot out and hit, pulling Caroline up through the tail rope of the claw. Caroline drew a sword in the air and struck the dragon's claw. Ace. Randall seemed to have found a savior. What's going on with this shadow dragon? I don't know, it's been chasing us all along. Notify the camp to prepare for battle. Yes. After speaking, Ace looked at Ike. Ike, come with me. The president is back and he wants to see you. Good as a gathering place for monster hunters and the location of guilds, campsites naturally do not fear an ordinary shadow dragon. After all, there are many experts here. So Ace is relatively calm in handling the incident. Ike followed behind Ace and walked up a long dark brown wooden ladder, leading to the second floor of the stone. As I mentioned before, this campsite was a huge stone. There were people walking with swords and people carrying water basins. They walked to a wooden arch, behind which was a corridor, and below was the flowing water of a waterfall, which was an artificial waterfall. There stood a person, it was Jones. Ace gestured for Ike to wait, and Ike casually picked up a booklet on the nearby stone platform. What is this? Weapon manual, Ace replied. Since the beginning of monster hunters, weapons have been the most crucial thing that hunters rely on. Because hunters generally do not have the powerful body and special abilities of monsters, but ancient alchemy has created exclusive hunting weapons for hunters such as insect control sticks, tai-dao, shield axes, and double swords. With these weapons, constantly strengthening and mastering skills, hunters have gradually gained the upper hand in the ecology, until today's ruling situation. Under the clearance of hunters, monsters are limited to certain areas and cannot invade the kingdom's territory. President, he's here. I heard that a shadow dragon attacked the campsite. Go and kill it. Don't worry about the dragon hunting guild. Duncan still dare not touch me. Dragons are not allowed to be hunted. It's really a joke. Is the monster's status still above the people? Yes. Jones was dressed in black armor, with a silver iron lock around his waist, and his hair neatly combed back. This was Jones who was in the Blood Dragon cave that day. Why did you save me? Why? Because you are from the north. Why, are you also from the north? Did you know that Andre had no good intentions? Yes, I'm also from the north. But that's not the main reason. Do you know why the dragon outside is chasing you? I don't know. Actually, I don't know either. I was just deceiving you. I saved you just because you were pitiful, but you survived the dragon's soul backlash. And do you know what your dragon is? It's the Shadow Dragon Emperor, one of the highest bloodlines of dragons, and you've all met it. However, it's not yours after all. What can they do if they catch it? What are you doing? Beat its muscles, drink its blood, steal its bones, corrode its soul, and peel its skin. But the soul has already affected you, and with Duncan's strength, he probably only drank a little dragon blood, but with that dragon-slaying magic, he's strong enough. Actually, Ike wanted to ask about his relationship with Drummond, but suddenly he heard the dragon howling and covered his eyes in pain. Report, Shadow Dragon has been taken down. Ace came up to report. Wait, don't kill him. Ike shouted. Ike walked away from these two people and rushed to the entrance of the camp, where a wounded dragon monster lay. Hey, don't go over there, that dragon is still alive. Caroline pulled at Ike, but Ike broke free. Dragon, is that you? Are you in a lot of pain? Ike used his right hand, which had been bitten by a burrowing bug, to stroke its back. The dragon was stabbed all over its body, its scales were cut off, its skin was cut open, and blood flowed down its scales. But he knew that it was indeed not Dragon.